basket, put it off the table.
Sure.
Okay. We're live now. Can everybody stand for the pledge of allegiance, please, as we call the meeting to order? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's pray. Dear Father God, thank you for those members here that are at Board of Public Works that make the important decisions for the city. We ask now that you be with them in the decisions they make today, that decisions are here to benefit all the citizens of the city of Huntingburg. For these things we ask in your precious son's name. Amen. Approval of the minutes.
How you doing, buddy? Yeah, all right. Perfect time.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Got a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Approval of claims. I don't. Those have been passed around. Make sure everybody gets those signed.
I'll make a motion to approve the claims. I'll second.
Got a first and a second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. First thing up, we have someone here if you want to, we have two special event applications. If you'd like to come present up here first, we have Walk for Water. Come to the podium, just give us your name and do your presentation. If you don't mind. Thank you.
Good morning, gentlemen and ladies. I'm Dan Bean. I'm with the Huntingburg Church of Christ. And we're petitioning for approval to hold an annual event that we've been holding for the last several years called Walk for Water. We're located at 16011 North Chestnut here in Huntingburg. And we're laying out a 1 mile walk that will take place on August the 15th, located in the Hunters Crossing subdivision. And this is something we have done for several years now. So we are requesting that we have permission to do that. It will be held on August the 15th, beginning at 9 a.m. and will conclude approximately 10:30 a.m. that morning. It's a Saturday morning. We will not need any sort of road closures or any of that to be in effect. We will mark off and use the sidewalks that are provided there in that subdivision. And so I believe you have received a copy of the special event application that we submitted back in May. So
I see our chief shaking his head yes, so you've seen it, and it will be on sidewalks. They aren't crossing Chestnut at all, and all within the area. Unless anybody has any questions, they did this last year. I think we could probably continue forward. Be about 50 participants.
may I add one thing that we will, our location, the church is located on the east side of Chestnut, so we will need to cross Chestnut Street to get into the subdivision. But we've done this in the past without any sort of issues, but just want to clarify that.
Any questions? We have a motion?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Got a first and second? All those in favor?
Aye.
And you had this on social media we can share, or?
We do. We use a Facebook website. Yes, sir. And it's through Healing Hands International out of Nashville, Tennessee, and we're just the sponsor of it here in this area.
Okay. Well, it's good work, so thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We have another one, pumpkin stroll.
Good morning. Catherine Wilder with the Huntingburg Merchants Association, asking for your approval to close 4th Street for our annual pumpkin stroll. We're planning to have that September 4th, 5th, and 6th. We will, pardon me. We will need barricades at the east end of 4th Street and the west end of 4th Street and the alleyways, trash cans, 2 picnic tables on the east end and 2 picnic tables on the west end. I think all of that was listed on the special events application. We'll have extended shopping hours on all 3 of those days. Of course, local dining. We've got face painting set up, several live music acts.
So are you wanting the hard barriers or the removable barriers?
We would love to have the hard barricades in all of the places that we can have them.
Because the 7th, the day it follows that is a holiday, so that would make those streets shut down for 4 straight days.
yeah.
if we did that. So, something for us, we've got to consider here this morning. You did this last year. Didn't we shut down like at 3 o'clock on Fridays? Did we shut down? Oh, that was Thursday.
It was Thursday. Yeah.
So it'll be shut down Thursday evening, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday evenings. I think that's a lot.
What if we would change that to close it on the morning of the 4th or at even 10 a.m.? Would that, there aren't a whole lot of businesses open on Mondays, at least on 4th Street.
No, just a couple business offices that are there.
And then there are several service businesses.
And,
But we
okay,
do have the new parking behind
yeah,
behind the east side and the west side. So there is additional parking. People can walk. It won't be any different than when 4th Street gets shut down for,
people don't walk in this.
oh, they do. They enjoy walking here. They love our historic downtown.
They do. Well, she's giving you positive, I've given you some of the just drawbacks to be aware of, but, I mean, just realize that Thursday and Friday nights are really, probably the restaurant nights and the
They
busy
are.
nights for those facilities. It is just, are you wanting to shut down both sides?
Yes.
Which we would have movable barriers on the other side.
Except for at
Or
Geiger.
at the very end.
Geiger and
Except for
Fourth.
Geiger. So that would, I would make a motion to approve if we do at 10 a.m. Do something on Friday mornings with the setup. Does that work for the street department?
Can I ask a question? I don't have my phone. So 4, 5, 6. So the 7th is Monday, Labor Day, correct? Won't most even service businesses be closed on Monday, Labor Day?
Yeah, I don't, I think
Retailers?
probably, the only one I can think of, I don't know about the coffee shop, but though they don't always close on the holidays. That's the only one I don't know about. So. And he's president of your Merchants Association, so.
Yes, he is.
And he's okay with this,
Mhm.
or he wouldn't have signed it, so.
I think I signed it, but
Yeah,
yes, you are right. Mike owns coffee shop. He is president of our association, is in support of the pumpkin stroll and closing the streets so that we can have the activities.
right. I'll make that as a motion contingent upon a Friday morning setup. Got a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right,
Thank you very much.
control.
Not a problem. We will do Friday morning setup.
yeah.
Okay, that's fine. We'll clean up Sunday at the end of the event. So. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Two trucks. Well, under my section, last meeting, we approved the, option 2 for, 4th Street. And right now we do have a spending plan put together, or a budget plan, that's gonna involve other public meetings over the next, really about 5-6 weeks, the way it's working out here. But, I'd feel better, even though we approve that option, if we did just approve today. I'd like to make a motion to go ahead and get the bid package prepared for that ahead of time, so we can get started on it as soon as the funding's available. If I could have a motion to do that.
I'll grant that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, we got a first and a second on the motion to move forward with the bid package with VS Engineering. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Street Superintendent Jason Stamm.
Good morning. First thing I want to talk about is the information that I sent you yesterday. I know it was short notice. We've been working, trying to get all this stuff put together. The Trainfo information that Neil's joined us here on the Zoom call. He is with Trainfo. He can answer any of the technical questions that you may have. We've been working with Cash Wagner on this grant that we're trying to apply for. That's why Nathan's here to answer those questions. Basically how this got started was, we met with the mayor and there is a railroad safety implementation grant that's out there. And it was something that we looked at to try to apply for this grant. And it is what it says it is. It's a safety thing. So when we got to looking into this grant, this was one of the options that we came up with on how to use this grant or what to apply for on this grant. Obviously the railroad track has been a hot topic lately, with trains stopping on it, causing issues with traffic. So that's what kind of got us started into looking into this system. We've heard from when the overpass was built and that sign was put on the north side. Why don't you have one on the east side? Why don't you have one on the west side? Why don't you have one on the south side? So that's what got us started into looking into all this. And that's what this Trainfo company has the opportunity to do, is to come in and put a beacon at the crossings and then be able to put signs on all 4 sides of the city that would let incoming traffic coming into the city know that there's a train on the track and possibly take alternate routes. So that's kind of a brief history of what this is, what's going on with it. The railroad grant itself is due on July the 10th. It has to be submitted by then. So that's where we got going with this and tried to get it into the meeting today so that we can answer questions if you guys have any. Basically what it amounts to, the total for this is, let's see if I find that paper here, $83,990 is what Trainfo's quote is to come in and put these beacons in and the flashing lights, or the flashing signs. This does come with, if we apply for this grant, the grant only sponsors certain items. So the items that are in this that it does not sponsor would cost the city, if we went with solar powered signs on the 4 major highways, solar powered would cost $33,000. And if we went to direct power, which with the electric department, we could possibly do that, it would cost us $27,000. That would be for the 4 signs that are on the edges of town. There is a service software fee that goes with this. That would be $14,000 for the year for them to maintain and do all what they do with it. When the trains are on the tracks, they have the ability to put that on Waze app and on a bunch of different apps that they can put that on. Google Maps, I think, is one. They also let the first responders know that the train's on the track. I talked to Donnie a little bit yesterday about some of the opportunities that, would help with first responders, fire, police, and that type of thing. Right now, the way this works is that $14,000 annual fee. If we would be able to, in DuBois County, I don't remember what they said, how many train crossing or tracks there were, but if you can get Jasper or DuBois County, if anybody else wants to join up onto with TrainFo, that reduces that $14,000 per year, according to how many other sites they put it at. So anyhow, if you got Neil's here, if you've got questions, technical questions, he can help you answer those. If you got questions that I can answer, shoot, fire away.
Well, we got him on, so welcome to our meeting.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You want to have anything that you want to add to this?
Can't hear him.
Just one thing I'll add here is that the grant that you're all looking at, we've been successful with that grant with the city of Peru. We've also with Allen County, city of New Haven. So we do have a fair bit of experience with this grant program here in the States with some of our other deployments in the region. And it's been a great fit for those agencies.
Donnie, Brad, what would change for you guys from what you right now? Would there be any benefit to this from right now?
For us, not necessarily. Where are the signs gonna be located? The beacons? I mean,
Basically, where the one's at now on the north end, on the south end. We haven't really determined exactly. I mean, obviously on the west end, it would be put to where cars would be able to take the overpass as opposed to coming all the way into town.
are you gonna put it south of Chestnut?
It can,
Main?
yeah,
I mean, that way,
Yeah.
it'll just be, instead of going all the way through to the light.
right.
The east side doesn't really matter because there's only so many roads you can take.
And we also, and I talked to these guys about the potential of, could you put one of them at Brettsville, basically? To where rock trucks wouldn't even come all the way into Huntingburg. They would be able to turn and go, north or south at the Brettsville
I
junction.
would have put a lot of thought into the south one because if we put it at Chestnut, it would, semis aren't allowed on Chestnut, so it wouldn't stop that semi traffic, but.
Right.
Yeah,
I
for
think
us,
if-
it really wouldn't change much.
As far as us, the signs aren't gonna do much for us, but you mentioned that they can communicate with dispatch, correct?
Correct. Is that right, Neil?
That would help my.
Sorry, I didn't hear the question. I'm sorry.
The system would be able to contact like the emergency the dispatch and that type of thing.
Yeah, everything that you would get here would be, you can plug it in wherever you want to plug it in. So yes, we do plug into first responder systems, that being their dispatch software or their tactical platforms. So yeah, that would be included in here as well. On top of that, we'd also provide a series of tools to measure the impact, measure how traffic is changing its behavior as a result of the signs. You would be giving you data on the change in rail patterns. And to your point there, the location that we had talked about there on the east there at Brettsville, we have the capability to make sure we're rerouting for the right events. So, if a train's just moving through, 2 or 3 minute events, no big deal. But when it's making those stopping shunting events, we have the ability to identify when those are occurring and have different messaging go out so that we can prioritize those kinds of events.
I was gonna say Brettsville Junction with the mess that they're gonna have going on down there here before too long, it's not really gonna matter down there. But As far as our response time, it's not really gonna affect us that much.
Right.
So,
It may help my guys figure out what station they're responding out of.
Okay.
Just depends on where they're at. I mean,
I don't know. I just, this is just from me. I can just speak for me, but I've lived within 6 blocks of that railroad track for 60 years. And I'd never get the issue. I mean, I don't care if it's stopped or not. The train never has bothered me. I just go around. I mean, I can understand that. There's a lot of complaining about it, but it just is what it is. It's a part of being in Huntingburg.
Yeah.
Been here.
I'm just trying to be proactive and,
Mhm.
and look at, you know, what
Yeah.
people are,
It's probably near the top of our complaint list.
And that's why, I mean, are we
Yeah.
is that why we're doing this? Just to try to not get
Well-
those complaints? I mean, I don't see an advantageous to the city on this, to be honest with you. I don't see where it would benefit the city myself, but I mean, I don't know. I need to look probably into it more just to see, understand it a little more.
Yeah, there's short notice. I'm same way, Mayor. I think you've discussed and brought up the issue before about, you know, the length of time the train just sits there. And that's a railroad issue. That's not you know,
It's not a city
it's
issue.
not us. Yeah, and so has that progressed anywhere or do they just not respond?
No, they've been responding and they've let us know that there are certain situations where they have to. They do their brake inspections and those kind of things. One time they took an hour and a half for a shift change, which normally should take 15, 20 minutes. That changed, you know, on the next few shift changes for a few weeks. And we had another slowdown, but it was again, another brake issue. I think they brake inspections just to make sure. Of course, federal law there's nothing we can do from a statute standpoint. Everything that's been passed by any municipality or any state in the union for the last 40 years has been declared unconstitutional, because of, because they're under Congress right now. Takes an act of Congress to change it. So we let our Congress people know, and especially those that are on appropriations committees and that help fund these railroads, because they do answer to them. They don't, the organizations or federal programs that monitor the railroads, all they do is really report when there's issues. They have no enforcement. So it becomes very difficult. Part of the issue is that about the time that the overpass was built, federal law changed that trains could be 1/3 longer than they are right now.
Yeah, I was wondering if they kind of took advantage of us after we built that
No,
overpass.
it's that way everywhere now,
Uh,
because all trains are 1/3 longer than they were across the country. You know,
Mhm.
that's what it changed, and obviously everybody made them as long as they could because there's more money in a longer train than a shorter train.
Well, you mentioned the shift changed, and I have talked to a couple people down there, and that seems to be the big issue.
Yeah.
Is the shift change right now. I didn't even realize that train engineers have the same time requirements that pilots do. I didn't.
Pilots
know
and
that.
truck drivers and everything else.
Yeah, so that's become, they said about 75% of the trains that stop, that's become the issue down there.
I guess I'm having a little trouble with the proposal. The total cost is 83,990 for the equipment. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then the grant would cover all but 33,000.
correct.
Oh, that's where you could come up with the.
Because
33
the
was lower than
the
27.
grant stipulates what it covers and what it doesn't
It
cover.
looks like the proposal's for 3 sensors or 3 beacons rather than 4, but. Two,
Yeah.
yeah, two sensors, 2 solar sensors, 2 camera modules. And then 3 flashing beacons, correct?
Correct.
And our share would be either 37 or 27,000 based.
33 or 27,
33 or
correct.
27 based upon the solar.
Solar or direct power.
The annual fee, the 14 $14,200 would be in, there'd be no grant
Right.
monies to support that.
Right, the grants don't help pay that. That's the one that, you know, if you do get other crossings in the county to go along with this, then it knocks a certain percentage of
think I
that
saw where
off.
There's 18 crossings in the county. But you kind of wonder whether or not, like, for instance, the Jasper community, I don't know that they're affected by, I don't know of any.
Well, I don't
traffic
think, yeah, I mean, obviously Huntingburg's affected the most.
Huntingburg's the one that has the stop trains.
Right.
Moving trains are no
Right.
big deal outside in the county. I don't see that there's any incentive for them to, when flies through Birdseye, flies through Birdseye.
Right,
And 4 minutes later, it's gone. So,
Yeah.
So it's, I think you'd have to assume that we'd be footing the entire 14.2 a year, the annual.
more than likely, yes, that's correct.
Jeff, I think personally, we would benefit from putting signs up, because I do like the sign on the north side when there's a train, but I don't know if it's worth the 27 or 33 plus the 14 a year. I don't know if that's
That annual fees, what's it?
I don't know if that's worth.
You know, on the south side, by the time you get to Fourth Street, you can see where there's a train block and you can you can arrange to get to the bypass.
I mean, I could see spending the
because we know the
14,000.
bypass is there, but nobody else turns left.
Maybe some signage regarding the
Yeah,
bypass.
Yeah.
Better spent.
I mean, if it was gonna help Brad and Donnie, if they said, hey, this is what we want, then I could see do it, but
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's only 14,000, but still, every little bit we can save adds up.
Yeah, that's annual.
Yeah.
Are you taking questions from the citizens on this?
Yeah. Yeah.
Great prize, but one thing would be $47,000 day one, not 33, because you're gonna take the yearly and count on that. So that's number one. Number two, I would urge the board to consider what this does benefit for the taxpayers. It's a sign. We all know the train's there, right? You can tell by the way people are flying around the bypass. It's an indicator. So what does this do to us moving forward? That's what I would urge the board to consider.
Yeah, to me, I'm probably, I'm at the same mind of Carrie right now as, and I get all the hate calls over these things and I do care. And I think we can look at our signage and what we can do to communicate this better. And really going, it's the northbound traffic that seems to back up because they don't know where to go. We can find a solution with the state we've discussed already with them some alternatives of what we want to do had actually 3 meetings with them recently at Style Line as far as getting a light there, working with giving police control of the light at Dairy Queen so people going northbound can make a left turn onto 231. I was in line the other day and 3 cars, one person didn't go for some reason. So nobody went one turn. So sometimes it takes a while. I don't, and what probably the longest train ride that everybody had, I had gone home that day about 5:30 and picked up my trash and tried to run it out before they closed at 6 o'clock. I got my trash and delivered it. I'm back home in 20 minutes. My neighbor calls and says, what about this train? I've been here for 45 minutes and I can't move. And I said, well, why don't you take 12th Street to 400 and around? Well, that's too long. I said, well, that's how I just did my trash. And I went back there and back in 20 minutes and did my trash run. And you've been sitting there for 45 minutes not moving. So, even people that know that it's there don't take those alternate routes. And we've had that discussion with the chief. People, 12th Street is a great place to turn to get to 400 and go around. I mean, I just make a habit if I'm running that into town of taking out 3rd Street, actually going down 3rd Street and coming out at my traffic pattern now when I'm headed to that part of town is I go by the golf course and come out 3rd Street that way every time automatically, whether there's a train or not. It also keeps me off that Chestnut crossing. I travel it periodically, but the initial cost isn't a big deal to me, but the fact that we're going to be tied into that other 14 grand plus maintenance, plus electricity, if we hardwire those and further maintenance on those over a period of time. That's where the big costs are gonna be coming in. I mean, so we're probably looking at another, over the next 5 years, at least 70 to 100,000 if we don't have any increase in the service discount and the service fee. Which I'm sure there'll be an increase in the service fee at some point if we don't have a long-term contract.
So this grant either all or nothing? I mean, can you still apply for the grant just to get the signs themselves and that's it? Or is it, you gotta do everything, you gotta do the whole package?
It's pretty well the whole, I mean.
It's all or nothing?
Yeah,
These signs would serve no purpose without the service
right.
package.
That's correct. And we looked at the potential of a sign like the one that's on the north side to put it on the west side. But it couldn't because the signal that's there now, that's used now, can't send it. It's too far for it to go to get it to the west side. Does that make sense? What I'm trying to say? Its distance to the north side sign is fine, but over the hill and stuff, it can't get the signal to put a flashing light like we have out there.
And I'll just chime in on that. That's I think a big part of the service cost inside there is every device is going to require a cellular plan to be able to maintain connectivity so that we can keep everything connected. So that's included inside there as well.
What did you say, Carrie?
Where is there a switch or something on the highway or something up here that?
There's right now, there's one at the track at 231.
Okay,
And basically that triggers the sign out there.
okay.
Now, the difference between that and what these guys have is they have the opportunity to, and it's all in that booklet or whatever, but they have like signs that's out there that flashes, that says train on the track or whatever. And then they also have some that are like message boards that would basically tell you that the train is moving and it's going to be there for 4 minutes. Or that message board would also tell you that the train is stopped. So that, obviously the sign we have now can't do that, but yeah, that's the reason why it wasn't long after we built the overpass, that was one of the first things was, why didn't you guys put a sign out here on the west side of town too? Well, that was the reason why, when it was done, why there was not one put out there. And I think Nathan and I did some work on that. We went, and I think Amy even helped with it. We went back and tried to see what that cost us to put that sign out there. And I think, what was it, around 12, 13,000?
Yeah,
For 12 to 13,000 for that one sign that's out there.
That's hardwired. Hardwired. It's not solar. It's
Yeah, it's hardwired.
that was several years.
Yeah, that was whenever the overpass was built, 2018 or whatever that was.
They did 4 of those signs without the service, flashing signs,
Yeah. So that's just,
They're apps, but I don't know people that would use them. I mean, Indiana University uses the Waze app for their football and basketball games and all that. And when that first came out, I used it every game. Now I just go whatever route I want to go to the games. But it does steer you to better paths if you use the Waze app to move around with. But most people are using Google.
to
and-
me, that.
and
I would-
Google will also,
I
Maps
use
will
Waze
also
and I
do
could
it.
see where that would be, by these guys running that through there. To me, that would be a benefit, especially if I wasn't from this town and I was driving through and all of a sudden Waze told me to go a different route, but I'm not saying that I'm justifying, but.
One more thing I'll throw in here is that part of the costs that you're looking at here is that we were scoping 2 sensors to monitor 2 crossings and basically interpolate what's happening at Van Buren Street. But if there's confidence that if one of those crossings is going to be active, they're all going to be active, then we could drop one of those sensors out if there's a high confidence that all we need to do is monitor one of them to know that something's happening here. And that would bring the cost down on both on the service element of it and the cap element on the ongoing piece. It'd probably bring it down about three grand. On the project basis, like the upfront project, probably about 13 to 15, depending if it's solar or not. So if you only needed the one sensor,
So right now, the way the sensors are set up, he's got one on 231 and then there's one on 64 too.
You know, the other option is we can apply for the grant and work on the package pricing too, separately from the grant, from the grant. And not approve the package pricing.
So you're saying, Neil, that 14,000 a year, if you only went with one sensor, that would drop to, what do you think roughly?
yeah, that would drop just really quickly here. I'm sorry.
He's spent.
That would drop us
Both problems.
about $4,000 on the service fees. Because part of those service fees there, our team is remotely monitoring the sensors to make sure that we're doing validation, we're audits to make sure that we're giving you good information. So the less sensors we have to do that on, the less the costs on that piece there as well. So, but yeah, we pull it down about 4,000.
You know, we have a couple business people here that are near the tracks. I don't know if you have any comments, and a couple council members too that work around the tracks. We have Glenn here.
Jerry, I sort of agree with you. I've lived here a long time. I know the local route, but so many people I see sitting out front of the store, driving through.
Right.
We just turn around, go this route, or signage is important. And, like I said, I've walked out actually post people in business cards, take a right on Fifth and go right on Chestnut or up, well, looks like they're open. Keep the 231-64 closed.
And in all honesty, with what Neil was saying there, I think we could do away with one of those sensors. I don't think we need one both at 231 and 64, because if it's at one of them, it's at the other one too. It does.
Yeah, I'd probably make the argument that it'd be better at 64 because you're getting all those shunting movements out of the yard. And those are probably the bad ones you want to get. The further you get from the yard, the less likely you're going to get those.
Yeah.
I don't know, the board doesn't sound real interesting. I think maybe we should table this for a while and think about it.
Well,
Or another one.
if
Forget it.
if we table it, we've defeated it because we have 7 days or 8 days
Yeah.
to put
What's the engineering fees on doing
everything
that?
in there.
What would the engineering fees be on a grant?
Only add one more thing though, why that 14? If that could ever, I know Jason's had problems trying to get NDOT to address that. When there is traffic backed up on 231. Traffic goes around the bypass and they get stuck on 14. Signal them, which one to let the 14th Street out. But if that signal there would be converted to that signal control. The system be talked to that.
That's the discussion we had the other day with them too again, but they say they can do it and
They say they can do it in a certain sense. but
Yeah.
Not totally what I wanted them to do, but they said they can't do that, but.
they were supposed to try to get us control so the police could manually switch it to that option too. Yeah. It'd be
have to
nice.
Have the police go do that.
So what if we agreed to apply for it? Let's say we get it and we don't come to agreement on price, and we turn it down. How much money would the city be out then?
Whatever you bill us,
I mean, it would basically just be the.
put it in.
I mean, wouldn't it be silly not to go ahead and agree to at least apply for it and then we discuss it later? We don't have to necessarily use it. But we may not even get it anyway.
Any idea on the turnaround time of the grant awards? I think they award later this fall.
Normally it's about a 3-month lead time normally for these
And
train
this
grants.
grant that they have,
Cause they throw them out.
is a once a year grant. It is, just to muddy the waters even a little more, the SS4A grant that we have, that's also part, we could do some of this through that, but the SS4A grant isn't funded beyond next year, where this railroad grant is funded for quite a few years out. So
I can share a bit of context on both of those grants. I was on the review committee with the FHWA for the SS4A. You're correct. They the grant is not funded beyond the current year. However, the proposal on the success of the grant, they're expecting to get a 4-year renewal on it. So that's looking positive on that. And the GRIPS program from the states, just for context, we've worked with agencies now on 6 applications, and we have gone 6 for 6. But the GRIPS program, if anything, I actually expected to get more funding over the years. It's coming from the state's Section 130 funds program, and administering it out to the local agencies through this grant program. Indiana DOT is actually being seen as a bit of a trailblazer on that, where we see other states starting to follow that similar model with their Section 130 funds. So again, I would echo that same statement that I believe that the GRIPS program will not only continue on, but I expect it to grow.
Where's the grant fund come from? Is this a state grant, federal grant, local grant?
NDOT. They have a specific grant, Great Crossing.
You know, I struggle to think like the taxpayer pays for a problem the railroad loses on us. Is the railroad involved in this? Can we get the railroad to pay for it? This is a county thing issue too. This is not.
Probably not. We do receive funds. We do receive quite a bit of money from the railroad for police and fire. They utilize it for equipment. We do get money from Norfolk Southern. I don't know how much, what, 10,000 a year or so, maybe 15.
We got a grant a couple years ago, 15,000 from them. I've reapplied for it this year again.
We've got some signage crossing grants.
Yeah, we got a grant.
We probably got 25,000 total,
Yeah.
probably in the last year and a half is about what we get. So we do get some from Norfolk Southern, luckily. Yeah.
Well, from what I understand, that grant process is going away too with the Union Pacific merger.
Yeah.
So Norfolk Southern's no longer gonna have that fund to divvy out, hand out.
Which that's a different grant than what this is.
Yeah.
Because this one isn't gonna go away, the NDOT one.
This time next year, there'll only be 2 east-west railroads in the whole country. That's
Have a railroad company that's willing to give you money.
Right.
and Union, only one railroad has a worse service record than Norfolk Southern. That's Union Pacific, who's buying Norfolk Southern. So things are not getting better. So.
It appears that there's no penalty to applying for the grant, approving for the application. You can always turn it down. Awarded it.
Well, that's kind of my opinion, is why not go ahead and approve to at least apply for it, and then we discuss it. We don't have to use it.
I think the engineering has already been done to this point.
And yeah, even if you come back next month and decide, want to notify you not ahead of time. You might pay. You've heard those numbers that won't wait to get awarded and decide to turn it in.
We won't have any additional costs going forward.
No.
Does that affect us going for another grant next year, say, these guys go for grants, knowing they're gonna turn it down? Does that make any sense?
It could possibly play in it because they do look at past performance of grants, whether you spend them down or not. But this is an NDOT deal where we do a lot of grants with them, and we've got,
Did one last year.
yeah,
We don't turn them down.
so. Does matter. I mean, if you get something, you don't finish the project, then yeah, that there is a factor within the scoring. In fact, it hits the engineers too with those scorings in some of those respects. If they don't perform, within a grant period, there's a performance period in there. It's probably 8% of the grant or numbers, the scoring system, when I look at it, somewhere in that range. Yeah. They want the money to be spent. I'm okay, but I think it's probably worth an opportunity to at least apply for the grant, then we can work out a better, maybe a better solution or a more workable solution on the final cost of this and how we put it forward, although the grant's going to be based upon the proposal, so. I would ask Dustin, make that a proposal and let us at least say yes or no here. Maybe not even get a second, but yeah, you know, if you want to put that in form of a proposal.
I'll make a motion to at least, apply for the grant.
I'll second it.
Would you, do you need to know, how you're gonna configure it? 2 sensors, 1 sensor? Does that need to go into the application?
Can that not come?
I might suggest that from a granting perspective, we put the best, the most likely win scenario forward, because we can always adjust the elements of it post award. But I would suggest that whatever the best success outcome of getting awarded is what should be submitted.
Was that 2 or 1 sensor?
Probably two.
I
Probably.
have to take a look at a few things there, but I would make the argument that there can be a case where 2 sensors is better, because the way that the program is run, they would see 2 crossings getting treatments, and so they might see that as, you know, there's economies of scale by having more crossings being treated. So I think that it's requires a little bit of homework on our end here to be able to say what that should be to maximize the likelihood of success in the grant.
Because it's gonna, part of the grant's gonna be the number of vehicles impacted, probably, right? The extra sensor will raise that number.
Yeah, we've got that analysis, and again, I do believe
About 20%
that with this
traffic comes
program,
from the
they're
east.
doing dollar values based on crossings being treated. And so if we can make an argument that 3 crossings are being treated with 1 sensor, then that's the argument we should make.
Huh.
I interrupted. Was there a motion, I guess?
Yeah, I made the motion. At least, I think we should at least apply for it.
I'll second it.
Got a first and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay. We have 1 opposed.
I
Motion.
just think it's, I mean, if we can find a better alternative, we can look for it. If we don't, we can reapply next year. But right now, I just don't see, I'm not convinced there's enough benefit to carry on. So,
Yeah, I'm still concerned about the ongoing costs and
Yeah.
the annual cost more than the initial upfront. You know, all costs are of concern, but yeah. Being able
That's
to put
something
that
that
in
we
a
can look
budget
at
going
too, to
forward.
see if there's any way that we can, if there's, you know, is that something
I-
that we can do with the SS4A grant to help pay that cost? I don't know.
And one thing I'll throw in there as well is we have been successful in looking at capitalization strategies on it as well. And so understanding more about the procurement structure of this, there are ways for us to look through to capitalization approaches on this for the ongoing fees.
Yeah, and we really need to look at the source, even though it's NDOT or those federal sources or state dollars, because we can't match or SS4A federal funds with another federal fund as the match. You can't really mix the two usually, so.
And just on that note, the funds for this program are coming through FHWA into their Section 130 program, which would be considered a federal source.
So doubt that we can match federal with federal, so.
Yeah.
I don't know any federal program that allows that. There may be some, but usually not. Okay. Well, we'll move forward with it, and then in the interim, we need to get a meeting together and try to see what other alternatives we can come up with here.
Actually, we have a meeting set up with these guys, Mayor, and any of you guys are more than welcome to get on that. We have a Zoom meeting on Monday with them. We were going to discuss whatever we came up with today. So I think, is that at 1:30 1:30, Neil, do you know, or Nathan? 1:30 on Monday. So if you guys are interested in that.
I think that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyhow, that's what we'll just move forward with it then and we can talk, you know.
Okay. Well, if you have a Zoom link, could you send that out to everyone and?
Yeah, I can either forward it to your, Danny can, I think, maybe from Trainfo. So yeah, we'll definitely get it to whoever's interested in it.
Yeah, I think NDOT traffic control is the biggest thing we gotta work on and that and.
Once a week, twice a week, I talk to NDOT.
They
about that out there.
changing, that light is scheduled to be changed in 2 years. It's a 2028 project, to be able to put that turn lane from 12th Street all the way north of town. So it'd be a perpetual turn lane the rest of the way through the city, as well as having that intersection with a dedicated turn lane from 14th on to 231. We were able to make that happen. That was gonna be a 5-year project. They moved it up 3 years. To coincide with the 14th Street repaving. So whenever we do that, what's that?
How far north is that gonna go?
It'll go up to the edge of town.
22nd?
Yeah, top the hill.
So it'll be 3 lanes or be a turn lane?
Yeah, right now they have to get additional right of way space between 12th and 17th really, you know, to be able to widen.
Widen a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, right in front of they may be calling you. With 1408 being there, but, yeah. They've done the survey work already and
Yeah.
everything's done there. It does have a project number. It is on the state project list. They moved it from 2030 to 2028, which was a good thing. Just about 9 months ago.
Yeah. All right. Well, are we done with Neil?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thanks, Neil.
Yeah. Thanks for letting us stand. Have a good day, everybody.
Thank
too.
you.
Okay, rest of your.
Rest of the report, any questions about any of that?
June report.
If not, that's all I've got really.
No.
I've taken up enough time already.
Oh. Our pavings, we still working on some of these issues?
Yes, we're actually we met with Rudolph last Thursday and we've got a meeting set up for when we come back off for the holidays on Monday or Tuesday, I believe, to try to finalize exactly what's gonna happen with them.
Yeah, we walked the streets last week.
Mayor and I and Davin Spade from Cash Wagner walked them all again. And they've, Rudolph's been here and looked at them. They're aware of what our concerns are with them. So we're just trying to put the plan together, basically, is what it amounts to.
They are gonna be redone, but how they're being redone
Right.
is gonna be the issue.
Right,
The best method for that, so.
correct.
Do they know what caused the problem?
No,
No? Okay.
not, other than
Well, they did have a machine problem on one street.
they did
that-
on part of it, not on, Foxtrot. They had issue with the paver, but still it was not anything that should have.
Had a lot of issues with them.
Yes. I,
That
Agree.
should come in play the next time we bid too,
think
as
so,
far as past
absolutely.
performance.
yes, yes. So, anything else?
You're right about that.
Okay, wastewater superintendent Brad Coomer. Had a wet weekend.
Yes, we did. Good morning.
No,
Morning.
Brad,
Any questions on the report?
Well, so you had 30 million gallons. How much of that was Friday and Saturday?
Good question.
Friday, Saturday rainfall was well over
You know,
12.
it goes by daily flow and hourly flow, but you know, we had 11.8 inches of rain in 36 hours. Doing a lot of the maths and Commonwealth and everything, we did have some small issues down there. There was staff that came in, worked all night long with Reynolds, Commonwealth, my staff, Brad Pope and all. I do want to give a hats off to everybody that was down there that took care of everything. We're still trying to fix some of it, but it was just, you know, under construction. When you get that much rain and flood, that things do happen, so. But the plan is working properly. We've been talking with Parkson, who kind of designed the plant to run, and they're pleased with the numbers and the flow, because that plant's designed for 3.3 daily with a max of 9.5 and an hourly of 12.5. Friday night, Saturday night, both, we were pumping almost 16 million gallons through that plant. The hydraulics and everything could not really keep up, but that much rain was going through there. First and Cherry Street, looking at elevations, we're about a foot of water in that 36-inch interceptor line. So we had no backups in town. There was no bottleneck. Everything came to us, which was good. The wet well down there never hit a high wet well. It's 28 foot deep. We were averaging about 16 foot of flow in there. So the pumps and everything did what they were supposed to. It's just there was so much velocity. They say 100-year floods. We've had one in 17 and now one now. So.
They're not 100 years anymore. Are
No.
they?
But I do want to say thanks to everybody that was there all night. And
It's just hard to believe that over the last 10 or 15, all the things we've done with infiltration, and we still get that much water and hard rains coming through there. It's just amazing.
There's one lady that suffers for years down at the end of First Street, with not being able to flush her toilet if there's more than 2 inches of rain. She's been able to flush it every day
Yeah.
this year and even during this event. And she was very, very happy for that. She's lived there for a number of years, and checked on her on through her daughter on Friday and Saturday, and everything still was going good. So
Heard that too. That's good.
Hey, Brad,
so everybody reached out. I do appreciate
it
it.
shows on here, was it 22% of capacity with that volume?
Yes. Yep.
Well,
On a
what would
monthly
happen with
capacity.
the old plant?
At the old plant, I could punch it in the numbers on our old MRO, but I bet it'd be 160,
What?
170%, probably 160 to 170%. So I go back to June or May,
Easy.
and we were
Yes.
running 122%.
Yeah.
And we didn't have near the rain here. So.
That's amazing.
But everything's coming together down there. Centrifuge building.
crazy,
Working on, hopefully put a slab in 2 weeks on that. One thing we do have is Veterans Parkway. We're about done with all the design out there, so the city's plan on doing all that in-house. Probably have a operator come in, help set some manholes, do some digging. I would say that's gonna be under $10,000, so. From there.
I know you probably told us on a delivery date on that centrifuge, but when you think we gonna expect that?
I think they're fourth quarter expecting it to come in, so
Okay.
completion will probably be first quarter of next year.
First quarter next year, okay.
Any other questions? I do have some photos there. I added yesterday. You guys can pull them up or see them.
Yeah.
On Church Street, the contractor did replace a lateral. You can see when they pulled the plate off to do, put the asphalt in there, there was a sinkhole in the flowable fill. So we went, investigated and ran some cameras down, and the one photo you can see from in our main where they put a saddle on. Obviously we don't get down in there all the time and inspect that. It's kind of the contractor's responsibility, to be honest. We will get down there more and look at this, but the one picture with the rock kind of sees where, when we got there and did our inspection. The other one is the main, where the main's kind of broke, and that is the homeowner's responsibility, the tap on the main. So I just want to I'm going to reach out to the contractor. If you guys are okay with that, have them repair this. I did talk to Phil briefly about that. I'm sure they won't be happy, but on the sinkhole, we did find another spot, probably 75 feet down our line, that we were getting some in a joint. So we're going to dig that up, repair it ourselves.
still the same thing.
Unless you tell me to fix this ourselves, but I think it's kind of the contractor's responsibility.
I agree. Contractor.
What's that picture with you got the cutout, it's got the hole sucked in there?
That's where the tap is. So they do a saddle, and that's probably something I'll bring to attention at the next meeting, is get rid of these, like we did the fern cones, we get rid of the plastic rubber
Yeah.
saddles. So they have to cut out the main and put a fitting in.
Put that in.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be bringing that to your guys' attention.
It'll raise the cost a little bit, but they won't have to redo it.
Yeah, you just don't have issues like this.
Force. Yeah. Okay, anything else? Brett?
I'm good. You guys good?
Okay.
Cool. Thank you.
Fire Chief Don Heim? Oh, I'm sorry. Did I miss one? Police Chief Brad Kramer. I apologize, Brad. Because we do have an addendum. I've done that more than once with you too, because
Good morning. Any questions on the report?
don't take it personal, Chief.
I won't.
I want to thank your guys had a wet, busy Friday, and I
Yeah,
went down and spoke with some of them, and they had especially on Saturday, they had a lot better day on Saturday. So we didn't have the
problem with that much rain.
Yeah.
With the closures that we had, so. No questions on the report. The only thing I've got is asking for an addendum to the SRO MOU with the school. With us being full staff, I'd like to introduce another guy from our road into the school to kind of share a load of work that Andy has. Looks like Stretch Armstrong out there. I mean, he's pulled into 17 different directions all in a matter of 10 minutes. So try to alleviate some of that off of him some days of the week. So.
And I've tried spending time with him, and he's got pulled so many times. I've not been able to spend a full day with him out there because he's been having to go to home visits and other things and I will not go to home visits, with them. So, I've pulled off a couple times, but encourage you to spend a little time, if you got time, with him, in the school for a couple hours and
Yeah.
see what he does. It's very structured. The value is immensible. I mean, when we have a lot of problems, whether it be with youth tearing things up in the community or doing those type of things, they then have to face him every day of the week when they come to school, and I think he's, as part of that face to face, it's had an impact on other communities. It's had some impact on our parks, and some of the things that vandalism we've had has been discovered and moved forward because of his relationship with the students in the schools. And there are things that we don't necessarily see as a community that are being there. Plus the fact he's given really good guidance to young people. And but there's a lot of administrative things that come with this job that pull him away too.
So
truancy and those type of things too.
yeah, those are all part of it. Basically this would add the language of having an officer being a part-time, and exchanging emails with Chip out at the school and stuff like that. We would put this person in to the elementary schools for say 4 or 5 hours a day, 2 to 3 days a week. It wouldn't be every day. And however it's applicable to our schedule. And that was made very clear to them that as long as it works with our schedule, because we're not going to short ourselves on the road to fill that position based off of call volume. So, and then they have also agreed to apply for the additional funding that they get for like Andy through that grant. And they are willing to give that to the city as well. So.
So it wouldn't be an additional payroll person. It would just
No.
be redeployment of existing resources.
Yeah,
Is how we'd look at it. So,
just be, like I said, 2 to 3 days a week.
and possibility of getting portion of that reimbursed to us. So.
So, do you have somebody in mind for this already?
Yes,
Somebody that's already working days?
yeah.
Okay, so it ain't gonna affect our nights and weekends
No.
guys at all?
Uh,
Good, okay.
Yeah, so, a couple years ago, whenever we applied for the, what was it, the COPS grant, I think, and we weren't able to, we didn't get it. Petersburg got it, I believe, that year. We had already had an interview process. We brought the school in on that. We brought in other SROs from other schools. It was a unanimous decision. It wasn't even our decision, even though we supported their decision. So, but yeah, it would be Riley Fleetwood.
Okay, good deal.
So. He is. You know, if this goes through, if you guys approve of this, he is signed up for training in July. It's a free training. All we have to pay for is his lodging and, his food. So it's up by Franklin. It's a 5-day training that they have to be an SRO. So.
And our training account is still pretty strong right
Yeah.
now.
Mhm.
We got a lot of money in the training account. And the police get a lot of donations now. Community's been very supportive of them, so.
I'll make the motion to approve this.
I'll second.
Got a first and a second, all to approve the addendum, to the school resource officer agreement. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries.
All right, I appreciate it. And just to let you guys know, I think the next school board meeting is July 16th or something like that, July 18th. I can't remember the exact day, but I'll let Chip know that he can present this to his board as well. So I think who do we have to have sign this, Phil? Is it
I think
mayor?
it's set up for the mayor or treasurer,
Okay,
once it's approved.
sure. All right, yep, so I got, thank you guys.
Hey, before you get
Yeah.
away, you might remind, while we're online, you might remind the public of your firearm safety, the date and the time.
Oh,
for that.
yeah.
That's coming up and that's a
Yep.
great idea, so.
Yeah, so I sent the email out the other day. Carrie caught a correction for me. Whenever I put it all together, it gave me the wrong date. But it is July 23rd and July 25th. Yeah. So I've sent those emails out to everybody that's gonna participate. I haven't heard back that people said no, so it should be full. But, and then we will keep a running list. So whenever we set the next dates, I'll send that email out to 6 more people and go from there. So.
Great.
But yeah, the guys are working on that curriculum and stuff right now, so they're getting it going. But- What's that? The course?
Whatever you got going on.
Yeah, the firearm safety course. Yeah, they're gonna go through the classroom portion, talk about some of the laws, self-defense laws, stuff like that. Handling, dry firing. It is. Yeah. Yeah, you just sign up on sign up online. It's on I shared it to our Facebook page. It's just a jot form. And then it comes to me, and then I keep a rolling list of everybody that signed up. And then, whenever we set our dates, I'll reach out to the 6 people off of that list.
Oh, boy.
I'm trying to focus,
Might
give
have done something.
primary focus to the citizens of our community. However, we've gotten some people from like Jasper and Holland and stuff like that, so.
And he did.
How many applicants did you get?
That's great.
I think I've gotten 16 or 17 right now. And obviously I sent 6 emails the other day to those guys, and so yeah, and some of those are even from Jasper and the county, so which we'll get to them whenever we serve our citizens first. So it's kind of the way we put it. No other questions?
Thank you, Chief.
All right, thank you.
Now, Fire Chief Don, I just couldn't wait to hear from you.
We get that a lot. We know that everybody likes fire better, but we like to let them feel important and go first.
I've got him that wasn't raised with none, so
Um,
I'm still a little nervous with him, so I saw he needed to do.
I really don't have too much, unless you have questions on the report. I mean, we have, our police and fire camp coming up at the end of the month, and we're getting ready for that, and I think we're in good shape for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like our EMS calls the last 2 months has gone down a little bit.
Yeah, so,
May and
so
June both.
that seems a little bit more normal. We finally hit a normal range of what we're used to.
Back to where it was
Uh,
2 years ago now.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
any questions? Nope. All right.
Thanks, Chief.
Thank you. Welcome back, Planning Director Paul Lake.
At least without all the jewelry around the neck this time.
Yeah.
Everybody get my reports? Any questions? I will let you know the drugstore on North Main and there's a house on 22nd Street that's listed for sale. I contacted a contractor Monday, let him know that I needed him to cut both of them. He went out and looked at them yesterday and said there's both high enough that it's still a little bit damp. So he will try to get to them today or tomorrow. And then I've got one I'd like to talk to you about after the meeting, Dustin, that may be coming up. Just get some advice from you.
Okay.
Yeah, I suggested that maybe you could help him out, so let's go talk a little bit here, but we've had similar on the south side, couple businesses on the south end at I'll just say Dollar General and the that's coming back. They're still getting fined. We got weeds that are too high. We've talked personally on the phone with the companies down there. The house at Second and Main, the owner was in the process of selling, so they just quit cutting. Now that's being cut. Just to let you know that this house at Second and Main was purchased by Indiana Landmarks. They're putting substantial amount of money into restoring that whole thing. They're taking the fence down, they're restoring the buildings, they're doing a lot of, they actually want to make that what they call a show home, to show what they can do. They're using Eli Lilly money as well as some other money to put quite a bit of money in it, and then they'll open it back up as a single family home for sale and go from there. But we're looking at other properties too, to do similar projects that are in that type of condition that we can bring back, make single family
Is that the
homes.
southeast corner?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't think that'd be savable.
So I'll tell you, I've turned it,
Yeah.
the inside, and the inside was a lot better than I thought it would be. I mean, the
Really?
woodwork was great. The floors were great, other than the back porch had a hole in the porch, but, and there's an original skylight in there, and that they uncovered during that. They've got all the vinyl siding off, the wood siding. The restoration specialist out of New Albany has been up here working on that. And he says it's in great shape. Every single detail that's on the outside of the house is still in place from over 120 years ago. So that's been a positive thing. And, hopefully we'll be able to do their, Bill Kaiser, with Shared Abundance has, had trailers down there taking furniture that's being sold now, Share Abundance. There were freezers of food with good food there that's being distributed to the food bank. So there's a lot of usable products that are coming out of that. Some of the antique furniture that was left there, it's gonna go into storage and put back into the home. But there's a lot of, I mean, I did a walkthrough. A lot of stuff was in the house, but it wasn't garbage stuff. It was good stuff that was in there. I was pleasantly surprised, actually, in the condition. Other than that back porch, is rough. And that was an add-on at some point.
Only last comment I'll leave you with, when I came in this morning, I noticed that when I left the office, apparently one of the houses on Jackson Street still had tenants in it. When I came in this morning, apparently, I'm assuming they were evicted because everything is out on the sidewalk here on Jackson. We get done here, I'm gonna go over and verify the address and then call who I think the landlord is and say, you've got till the end of the day, get it off the sidewalk, so it'll be gone. So. No questions? Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
Safety Director Andrea Brown. Morning.
We did finalize and get our invoice for our liability, property and vehicle. That went up 2.5%, but our exposure, because of our exposure going up 8.2%. So we added the senior center. We have a new bucket truck. Brad added a newer truck down at the wastewater plant. So we've had some additions to justify that, but we were very happy with a 2.5% rate increase. They've been seeing consistently about 10 to 15. So very happy with that. And then cyber went up about $2,000, but that's kind of what it's been going up each year. So.
Indiana's number 4 in the country for cyber attacks, and that's driving some of these insurance rates
Yeah.
on an annual basis. So
We're still saving.
Indiana's
quite
a target
bit.
for some reason. So
Yeah, we're still saving quite a bit from where we were at when we switched companies. So I don't think we're all the way up to where we were before we switched. So
can you kind of give us some details on employee handbook?
yeah, we finally got our rough draft from the company. So now Tom and Amy, myself and Shelly met with the company last week. So we kind of went through the handbook and now we're just in the process of reviewing it. And there were some things that we want more details added in that we had in our handbook that didn't kind of get carried over. They're just general policies. And then we'll start the talks on some of the other changes that we want to make. But yeah, we're in the early stages of going through that and making all of our red lines and all of our suggestions, and then we'll send it back. She'll update theirs, and then just go back and forth until we're happy and everyone approves it, and then we'll be done.
So if you make any major changes to the handbook, does the council have to approve that?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Right
Really,
now,
any change.
yeah, right now we're just taking, Amy and I talked about it a little bit, but there are some things that were not brought over from our handbook that need to be put into.
She added a lot of legal stuff that
Yes.
has come up since our last handbook
Right.
that we need to be covered on.
Yes. And just general thing, like under uniform, she didn't bring over that we specify $200 for boot allowances. And so there's just some detail things that were not brought over, that we just need to go through and make sure that everything's in there. Once we do that, then we'll go forward with our suggestions. And we plan on meeting with the mayor and Tom and Amy and going through some of the policies that bereavement, and Phil, yeah, bereavement and some of the, looking at the vacation time. Now's the time to kind of look at all of those policies and see if we need to make anything, make
They are.
any different changes or,
They
'cause
are
it's
doing
been
an
a while.
HR legal review too as a
Yeah.
part of that. So
Yeah. So,
most of that based in the case law, really.
any other questions?
No.
Okay, thank you.
City Attorney Phil Schneider,
Nothing this morning?
Clerk Treasurer Tom Dipple, Amy,
We have nothing.
any other items? Any board items? Any citizens items?
Hi,
Hi.
Janet Schnell, live over on Sycamore Street. Just gonna give an update on what's progressed in this last year with neighbors. Did get things cleaned up. Still have a couple of problems. But what I started noticing is a year after it's been addressed, they're back. So found things like 2 trash bags that looked like there was soft materials in it by the shape of it. Just more things are being added to the porch again. And really, I'm coming, and we're seeing activity with animals. We actually chased a raccoon back over to the back shed that had come over to our property. So I'm really here just more to ask you all questions is when is it too much? When is it back to, when is it that, because I recommend it. They didn't have fines against them, except I think it was like a $50 fine. They were not held accountable in any way besides cleaning things up. And then it was always a delay. It was too hot, too many things. There's always a reason behind why they didn't have things cleared up in court, telling the judge. We decided to drop the fines, which now in retrospective, I'm like, maybe not a good idea because there's no consequences to actions. And now we're back to the same behavior. And I don't want to go back 14 years before when we brought it up to the code enforcer at that time to say, there is a problem. I don't want it to go back now again saying there's a problem and we don't have any kind of repercussion.
Yeah, and maybe Phil can answer this better than me, but my understanding, the fines were dropped and you were there in the hearing. And suggested too that we do in favor of the judge being able to impose his fines because his fines were at much greater rate than what we could. That was kind of concession more to the judge than it was to the owner.
It's part of the settlement agreement that they agreed to a permanent injunction against violating the boarding ordinance in the future. And that's why the fines were essentially dropped because they agreed to that. And whether they're in violation or not, I don't know. I think Don has been doing some inspections and working with them. I'm not sure if they're in violation of the injunction or not. But I have written them a letter and told them we expect them to be in compliance with it, and we'd be inspecting them. And if they're not in compliance, we'd petition the court to hold them in contempt of the judge's order. The judge can then determine a fine and any other penalty that he wants to impose upon them for violating the court order.
So since the fines were waived, if they are violating again, will the fines be brought back then?
If they're violating, no, yeah, we could absolutely cite them again and begin fines again. And then the judge could also fine them or take whatever remedy he wants to take for them violating his order, his court.
Which would be could be in the thousands, potential, lot more than we could ever find based
And you
on
hate to
contempt.
do,
And that's up to the judge to decide what that amount is.
you hate to do
but
that,
it's
but like you said, when is enough?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna have to defer to Don on that. He's the one that's been physically doing inspections and reviewing it, comparing it to where it was when they were found by the court to be in compliance with our ordinance and where it is now. I don't know. Certainly, there's probably more items there, but is it to the extent that it violates the court order? That's kind of a subjective determination that maybe the judge will have to make.
Well, the bags that were on the front porch are definitely out of order.
Yeah, I
that
saw
they're soft
pictures of
items.
2 bags, which I don't know.
According to the gentleman, it was a big antique pottery tool, I don't know, a jug of some sort, and that they wanted to technically maintenance. Well, I said, the trash bag, we can't tell what a trash bag is, if it's trash or what. I said, if it's trash, it's gotta go. I said, if it needs to be protected, put it inside. And so that is the last I heard. I said, I told him, I said, you'll have to explain that to Phil. I said, these are what I'm seeing, that you are bringing stuff back. Whether that constitutes, I don't know what constitutes, from what I am, if it isn't a jug, it's okay for outside. It's not going to create mold or anything like that. I don't know. There's no specific rules on that. They had an Afghan on a chair that they brought. He says he sits on it. I said, well, the Afghan, I said, take it in the house when you're done, because they could be wet, start accumulating. That was for last week.
Phil has written them a letter I assume the courts, did they get copied on that or?
No,
I
it's-
don't know
no.
now. Okay.
And Donnie has done a good job communicating with me. We allow access on our property to be able to take the pictures. I'm just really don't want to go back 14 years. I don't want to see things sliding back to where, and they've been making kind of snotty remarks to us, like, now what are you gonna do about it kind of attitude? Like, okay. There has just been no consequences to their actions. And that's where I really have a hard time with. That I feels like I put more time into this effort to make sure that everything was kept up to code and we didn't have animals, musty smells, mold, everything on our property, devaluing our property than what they put into keeping their property safe. So that's where I am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Janet.
Thanks, Janet.
Any other issues? Do I have a motion to, gonna hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion made.
I'll second.
Got a person to second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. 9:55 a.m. Thank you.
Over on Sycamore down there, just between First Street and First Avenue.
Oh, I bet.
Oops, sorry.
About that house in the corner.